Let's get back to work. Let's try to help people learn history lessons. Okay, learn molecular symbiotic relationships, molecular interactive symbiotic relationships. You guys know what I'm talking about? Symbiotic relationships are like things. Well, we're in many ways we're all symbiotically connected. Everything's symbiotically connected. And what people break it down to and label it as molecules, molecular structures. And when you look at time, on the course of time through tribalism, and it's not so much tribalism, it's just living. Okay, people were labeled as tribalism, but you have a symbiotic relationship and a sexual reproductive relationship. It quote, I guess what we would refer to it as evolves into tribalism. Okay, but it's not necessarily the case, because Tony meets Maria, and then, oh, I can have puppies with you too, and I like you better than my cousin Chucho, right? And I like the Polish guy better, right? And so you got to understand, so over years, like, there's a very strong connection between my ex-wife's families and me, because they were doing science projects with our relative forms of communication through it's not so much tribalism, but through empire building and travel and purchasing of women as sexual property and moving them and so forth. Okay, and when women get moved around in that, you get the bad guys that do it, and then you get the good guys that protect. The king, there's always a King David for a Herod and a Saul. There's always a Jesus for a Caesar and a Pharaoh, right? There's always a Moses. Okay. So like you ever watch, it's on Grit, you ever watch Zorro. Okay, but it's very rare for the richest man's son. Okay, you can't live in an opulent palace and be like, well, I guess you can, Moses. Okay, but Moses was treated like shit. Moses was a half-breed, and Moses stuttered because people abused him. His cousins called him part dog, and it was horrible. The life that Moses lived in the palace, but his life was horrible. Okay, they wanted the turkey buzzard flying over, or is that a hawk? Let me see. Hold up. Where is he? It's a turkey buzzard. Okay, it's a bunch of them. Okay. You guys got to understand, there's just consistent molecular structures, and we communicate to being, what's your reputation? Ecstasy. What's your destination? Next to me, right? So you can literally migrate, and people migrate. In our cases, with me and Amy and stuff, it was like a forced migration. We were manipulated, but that happens with women that are sold into sex slave trades and things like that. So it happens, and it's happened throughout time. And usually, most good people will love the one they're with. They won't go looking for this great earth-shattering, changing love, okay, that's better than the girl next door. Okay, most of us are, we're content with the girl that you have faith in God, yes, and you can believe her, and she can explain it to you, and okay, life's eternal and grace is omnipotent. I have faith in the glory of God. I can't put the glory of God in a bottle or prove it through science, but I know there's no other possible source or containment for our eternal essence through our faithful love, my dear husband, and I love you, you see. And so when you get a wife like that, it's like, okay, you're not going to want to go anywhere. Okay. The last thing you want to do is see some mean, selfish bitch on TV with lots of money and no idea what's whack and what's dope. As business partners with Elon Musk and people that invade your house through technology to keep their money, manipulating you as the all-powerfuls. Okay, so Disney narratives don't work. They're not. Is Disney getting up and saying, hey, forgive debt and trespass? DreamWorks saying, hey, forgive debt and trespass? No. Okay, so those people are just merely mind-fucking you, and if you have a relationship with those people, you got to realize it's most likely, since none of them has showed up to stand up for Lord's Prayer with me, just a perpetual mind-fuck that never intends on going away, and depends on depressing you to death by never showing up. Okay, do you understand? it's so good talking to this Natalee Michell person. What we're doing is through our molecular connection throughout time. Me and Patrick discussed it, and stuff. This is like the woman of the spirit of the one they brought to David to try to nurse him back to health, and this is Natalee's that girl, right? And everybody's, oh, it's like, guys, the temple is crafted through faith and not through selected breeding. Well, let me repeat that. The temple is grafted through faith and not through selective breeding. Okay, what you give in love to a woman, you get out of a woman with love. Okay, love or love. I love you. Okay, so you got to understand this. Okay, so over thousands of years, through certain tribes and connections, and what will happen in tribalism. Me and Natty, I was out there sunbathing on my legs and my face to help get sun vitamins for about 20 minutes a day. And I was having conversations with Natty in my head. I have my headphones in, that doesn't matter. I can go right past all their bullshit. Don't worry about it. I'm fine. Okay. And we were talking about tribalism, and we were talking about the stuff that happens and all the disgusting with tribalism. Okay. What will happen is this, like say, okay, my ex-wife comes from the Hulse, okay, but she's the result most likely of a sexual assault at a Job Corps in Mississippi on a sweet, good-natured white girl that got taken by a bunch of angry, let's get back at the man, black guys, and raped her. Then she ended up pregnant and didn't know what to say or do because she felt abused and embarrassed, and then felt like, because Amy and her, when she went to the psychologist, had all the classic symptoms of the child of a rape victim. I was never supposed to be born. I wasn't supposed to live this long. I'm supposed to die. Okay. That's the way children of rape victims feel, because they're made to feel that way by the emotions and the talking of the mother while they're in the womb. Okay, so it's very classic symptoms of that. And so that happened with my sister, but she didn't get pregnant. I come from families that are poor white people that are abused by sick people that try to turn me into a villain because of economic conflict. A lot of the villains physically resemble me. And I don't anticipate any of the people in the Temple of Set Illuminati coming forward after I fixed the technology by 2000, before Trump was put into office, to come up forward and recognize me as the gracious good shepherd and live the Lord's Prayer with me, because of the things that Rockefeller said to me and LaVey and Aquino said to me when I connected to them. We can't get them to do anything they don't want to do, and they'll gladly kill over me and my grandpa's money and watch you and Jesus die, Parsons. So they're doing what they're addicted to, and they're not going to change. You can get them a door and say, get out the room. No, I'd rather snort coke and fuck prostitutes and be the hottest snort coke snorter and fuck the hottest prostitutes. And I'd rather get paid lots of money for everybody who wish they could fuck me and talk about myself in my sexy bedroom voice and live your fucking Lord's Prayer. How Rihanna of you, how Taylor Swift of you. Okay, so how MTV Music Awards of you. So, they're shitty people. And they can change. I just don't think it's going to be of their own design, of their own choosing. I think it's going to happen after don't tell us you're sorry, because you're not. You're just only sorry you got caught. Right? So, and you got to understand, because Patrick understands it, a lot of my family doesn't. Molecularism, the molecular understanding, I have closer relationships in trying to have good pockets of romance and stuff with the spirit of my ex-wife's daughter. Okay, let me explain this to you. The devil and Satan will kill the spouse of the gracious good shepherd to separate them. Okay, and then in this time and space of human beings and human events, it just so happened that the spirit of the man's wife through the Germanic tribes and stuff ended up being his stepdaughter and being too young, born too late, and he couldn't have a relationship with her that they'd had over thousands of years before, because of what the devil and Satan had done by killing off spouses, mothers, friends, lovers, the way that Sun Tzus do. They're real bitches, right? And so she's really intelligent. She understands that she doesn't get grossed out or geeked out on it, because she got abused emotionally and mentally, and it affects you They use sex to manipulate everything. We were going over it last night when before I was going to bed. I was trying to sleep, but she was telling me and explaining to me all the things that went on in the trailer park in Sierra Vistas. Yeah, I remember it like it was yesterday too. I remember every last thing. And then when we got here and Patrick trying to protect her, yeah, I remember all that stuff too. So I remember everything like it was, yeah, and it made us feel uncomfortable because a bunch of perverts were constantly manipulating our needs and our wants with their money and their science projects, and they're like a bunch of assholes moving people through their lives like they're rats in a lab. Look, I bet you can make it do this. I bet you that's what they're gross. They're just the most disgusting people you could ever think of. And if you're selfish and you're egotistical, they will use you to perpetuate the abuse. If you're unselfish and you're not egotistical, you sit there and go, gosh, I can't wait to get to that Lord's Prayer. Me too, Ray Ray, me too. Yummy and Kate and stuff. There's a different relationship between me and Emmy and Kate. Natalee's the spirit of a woman who was my wife, okay, throughout time. And Emily and Kate are spirits of, you know, the one who's more the spirit of the daughter, which is Amy, and then like sisters or daughters or nieces and stuff. So there's a relationship. That's my uncle. I want to tell anybody he's my favorite. He's so sweet, right? And so that's what happens. I don't know if I'm the biological of any of Amy's kids. That would be nice if I was. With Noah and Emily, that would be great. I'm more than certain that with the other three, no. We know Crumb's not. We know Natalee's either Kelly or his cousins. And I was there, you know, when Kate was conceived. So it was a beautiful night. Because we got Kate. Okay. Kate transcends anything that Navy SEALs and the Temple of Set Illuminati can do by manipulating people like they're rats in a lab. She's a woman. She's beautiful. She was an amazing Starbug kid. She's really sweet and she's lots of fun, and she's protective of animals and people, and she's protective of people that are abused, just like Noah and Emily. Okay, so Amy's not a bad person. People that abused Amy are bad people. Okay, guys, let's load this one up. We'll talk some more later tonight. Get your brain on right, because if you don't, I'm going to kick your ass. And Ray Ray's taking me to the future, you know, and talking about things and, you know, where we're living the Lord's Prayer, and it's really helping, because other people won't do that. They still want to be the focal point of attention, and they're selfish. And Ray Ray's like, no, it'll be great. We'll be able to have our time, we'll be our own, and we'll all be family, and we'll all be able to love each other. So it'll be real cool. Peace.